So there are 5 strategic concepts that are winning today, 5 Fosbury flops. And it's important, as we think about generating options to growing our businesses, that we look through these 5 patterns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each one. I'm going to give you a few examples just to sort of embed them in your mind. My hope is it's going to start shifting how you think, but also it's going to generate some ideas. So I encourage you to take out a piece of paper or a phone or something and start writing ideas as we go along. First one is a simple narrative. It is move early to the next battleground. Skate to where the puck is going to be, not where the puck is. Now, of course, this is fundamentally what innovation is about, but the reason that you see companies that are thriving today citing this narrative more often is that the future is coming more quickly. It used to be that you could introduce an innovation and wait for 5 or 10 years before you thought about the next one, but now the future is coming so quickly that we already need to be planning for the next one. We're already planning for tomorrow. It's fundamentally a different way to play. You see this trend across lots of different curves. This is technology adoption of U.S. households. On the far left, you can see the telephone. It took from 1990 to 1950 to get close to 100% adoption. On the right-hand side, we see things like social media, like MP3 players, HDTV. Technological adoption's accelerating. Why is that? Well, that is because more of what we sell is now digital rather than physical. It used to be you bought a car for the mechanical aspects of it. Today, you increasingly buy it for the digital aspects. A Tesla car is really a computer on wheels more than anything else. When something's wrong, they can download a new software fix and repair it overnight. And you're paying for that. What you're selling is shifting from physical to digital. The thing that changes there, however, is that digital things improve exponentially. Physical things improve linearly. And so the way that you can track how quickly technology will improve is not by providing a linear projection, but an exponential projection to ask how quickly will the price to performance double. And here are some measures. Solar panel efficiency is doubling every 22 months. Drone lifting power is doubling every 9 months. Computing power every 18 months. DNA sequencing every 5 months. It wasn't too long ago that it would have cost you $5 million to sequence a human DNA. Today you can do it for less than $1,000. Drones, if they continue at this rate, in 7 years you're going to be able to take 4 drones and they'll have enough lift capacity to pick up a container. And when that happens, what's going to happen to ports and distribution? It's hard for us to get our heads around this exponentiality. It's always been hard, which is why we continue to expect that this upward surge is going to stop and get linear. Here's projections of the gigawatts added capacity per year of solar energy. And here, the black line is the actual line. The other colored lines are the projections of WEO. And you can see each year they predict that it's going to start going straight. We can't get our heads around this exponentiality. And the result is it creates an opportunity for those who start shooting three-pointers. We can plan for a future that before would take 10 years to get here, knowing that it's going to get here much more quickly. I got a chance to interview Elon Musk, and I asked him about SpaceX. So he sells PayPal, he nets $115 million for himself, and he decides to bet all of that on building rocket ships. And I asked him, why did you do that? And he said, I just think a future in which anyone can shoot stuff into space is more exciting than one in which only the government can. Sounds like a risky premise, no, to bet your wealth on. So I asked him to explain it to me, and he said, well, when I say exciting, what I mean, it is in the direction of evolution. It's like entropy is always increasing, excitement is always increasing. And if we think about human history and where we're headed, we know that we're going to become an interplanetary species. What's keeping us from that is it costs too much to build and launch a rocket ship. If the government were to privatize that part of their space program, we could drive down the cost of rocket ship production by 90%. And then we could be shooting things into space and start getting to Mars and start populating other planets. So I don't know if it's going to happen in 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, but the government is going to privatize that part of their space program. And I'm going to build the company that's perfectly tailored to take that off their hands. It's very simple thinking. In fact, if you overthink it, you miss it. There was a pharmacist, second generation, and he saw that pharmacy was broken. People who had multiple prescriptions, they would have a terrible experience. They had to take multiple trips to the pharmacy, multiple bottles. They got confused. You would get those little packs, one Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, try to fill them up, but you'd always miss them. So he said, this is how it should be. You should every month get a roll of all of your prescriptions from all of the sources, and they'll come in a roll like this. Each packet, if you look on the top right, will have the date and time and what's in it, and all you have to do is just open up the next one and take it. So he does this, goes through regulatory approval to get it, be able to do this in 48 states, builds the operations, and 5 years later sells it to Amazon for just under $1 billion. He created $1 billion worth of value through this kind of simple thinking. Where is the next battleground? And what can we do to move there early now? So that's the first narrative that we want to be applying to our businesses.